Hey, what's up, guys? This is Autumn and Phil. We're back for another episode of Cape Talk. We're going to finish off the review of The Defenders. We both finished the series, and we'll tell you what we think about it. Spoilers ahead, just so you guys know.
Oh, yeah, huge spoiler warning.
But it's been like a week, so I think,
I mean, if you haven't watched it by now, you shouldn't be watching this episode.
Yeah.
Like, just save it for when you finish it, really. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, go check back the episode before this one. We discussed the first 4 episodes. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to discuss the last 4 episodes and just talk about the series as a whole, and, we'll go from there. So where we left off, episode 4, we had the Defenders are finally together in the Chinese restaurant, and the Hand has shown up, Elektra's shown up, and they're about to fight.
Yep.
And that leads us to episode 5.
And everything kind of just kicks off. It happens in a period of like 3 days. So, if you're watching this because you already finished and you want to hear our thoughts, I mean, pretty much their mission just takes off. They have to save New York. They have to kill these Hand members who are coming after them. Not only coming after them, but they have to get one step ahead and come up with a plan about how to go about.
Yeah, and they learn more about what the Hand's plans is. And like Daredevil knows a little bit because they saw it in season 2. But we find out later on that threads from season 2 are carrying over to this season.
Right.
And, everyone else, all the rest of the Defenders are out of the loop. Even Iron Fist,
Iron Fist is, like, the most out of the loop.
Yeah, he's like, I have no clue what's going on. Luke and Jessica obviously don't know what's going on. Because they're like, I never even knew there was dragons and mystical ninjas and whatever.
And we sure as hell didn't know.
No. So, I mean, episode 5 is, like, the big showdown. We have a fight in the restaurant. Elektra, other Hand members show up, and, man, my memory's terrible.
Well, no, what was the most interesting thing about me to that fight was that's the moment where we realized there's still Elektra in Elektra.
Yeah.
Because she has a chance to kill Daredevil, and she...
Yeah, when they go to the roof, like...
Yeah.
They start fighting, I think this... Tell me if I'm wrong, but they're fighting and whatever. They're all doing their own thing. And then they all get surrounded. So they're all 4 Defenders and Stick. Are, back to each other. And Stick goes, we'll survive this if we all fight together. And that's when Daredevil just goes off on his own, takes Elektra and, like, takes her upstairs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we're like, what the hell are you doing? And then they have to fight, they fight their way out while Matt takes Elektra. They're fighting and they're making their way up to the roof.
Madame Gao is killing it, by the way.
Yeah.
She's really strong. And I'm hoping she doesn't die because, like, I want to see more where that came from. We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
Murakami peeped that Elektra wasn't killing Daredevil. And then he, like, snitched on her.
Is that his name? Because that's when, in our last, episode of Cape Talk, we talked about the Hand member who was, like, killing the bear. Like, not killing the bear's already dead, but...
I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but it's spelt, like, Murakami.
Yeah, that's probably right. So. Yeah, but it's interesting because, like, you learn more about the Hand and, like, how they're all from different parts of the world. Obviously, Alexandra's American, Gao is Chinese.
I don't think Alexandra is American. I think she's...
Well, she's supposed to be American.
Right, she's, like, her territory is
America.
Is New York.
We have the African warlord. He's obviously taking over Africa.
Sawande, right?
Sawande, yeah. Gao is Chinese. She takes over, she has that thing. Murakami is Japanese, obviously. And then we get the return of Bakudo, who's doing South America.
Right.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
So... That's apparently been the guy they were teasing earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going to get reinforcements from South America. And I'm like, okay, who is it? It was Bakudo. I was like...
Yeah, you're underwhelmed by Bakudo. Why?
I mean, he just doesn't do anything. He didn't do anything for me in Iron Fist. Like, he didn't seem like a credible threat to me. He just didn't. Like, he was just, like, there. And I was like, come on. I think
he was more of a psychological thing for Colleen Wing, and I think it's interesting because coming into the Defenders, we kind of realized why so much was at stake as far as Colleen and Bakudo's relationship, because it was her job, like, from the get-go, it was her job to be there for Iron Fist and, like, kind of get the Hand to know more about what he's doing, what he's up to, have eyes on him for this whole now situation that we now see is played out. I mean, that was Bakudo's plan from the jump. It hadn't, you know what I mean? Colleen didn't just so happen to meet Iron Fist, and that to me was quite interesting to see them go off and see the headspace and Colleen's at, because I think she's going to be a really important character moving forward, particularly the storyline obviously with her and Misty Knight. But I think it kind of set the point of him was more for Colleen, less for the Hand.
Oh yeah, of course. Know? That's the the emotional thread between Colleen, and that was my thing. Like, I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she only seen like Daredevil season 1, and
Yeah.
she's seen Iron Fist. She didn't see Luke Cage, and she sees Jessica Jones. So we were watching the first 4 episodes together, and she was like, and I told us that we already seen the first 4 episodes. So I'm
Yeah.
just rewatching it, and I'm like, you really don't need to have watched Luke Cage or Jessica Jones to really know what's going on
No.
in Defender, especially not Jessica Jones. Like literally nothing from Jessica Jones had anything to do with the season.
Unless you want to know why she is the way she is.
Yeah, like who she is
Yeah.
really, and her connection to Luke is the only thing that you
Yeah.
want from Jessica Jones. Luke Cage, the only thing from Luke Cage you want to get is Misty Knight, really.
Yeah.
Is Misty Knight's inclusion in the whole thing. So
Oh, I guess in Claire Temple and his relationship, but that's not
True.
even really explored heavily.
no, because that's like quick in the
Yeah.
first episode. Like
Yeah.
everyone, like, hey, what's everyone been doing?
Right.
So it's really you really need to watch Daredevil and Iron Fist to really understand what's going on with
Yeah.
Defenders. More so Daredevil, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Elektra thing and the hand and the giant hole in New York and whatever.
If you liked the mystical aspect of this, then I would say Iron Fist a little bit
Yeah.
because it puts you. I always say like it was hard for me to learn like geography because there was nothing to like associate with, but Iron Fist gives you that association of like where things are coming from. You know what I mean? If you watch Daredevil, you're still not like in tune with like what like Kunlun is or why it's so important
Yeah.
or where his power comes from. At least then, if you watch Iron Fist, you have like an association.
Yeah, definitely Iron Fist, like
Yeah.
you said, like, because you get see Gao in action in Iron Fist,
Yeah.
Bakuto is in there, Conley Wing, obviously, and then more about the hand, really. But I feel like Daredevil Season 2, besides being just an amazing season, like you said, the Elektra thing, where Midland Circle was before it was built.
That was such a big hint that they gave us.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, damn, that was quick. They built this big building pretty
Yeah.
fast. But yeah, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. But like, obviously, like you said, they're on the rooftop. Matt Murdock and Elektra are fighting each other. He's trying to get to her, and she's kind of coming out of it. That's when Murakami, I think his name is, he shows up to help, and he sees this, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's about to interject, and then she just like punches him, and like he
Yeah.
goes flying, and she leaves, and he's like, "Okay, I gotta go."
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So he leaves. And that plays out between the hand, the Murakami. And Murakami is probably my favorite hand member.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, you have Alexandra, Murakami, Gao, Bakuto, and...
I'm still a Gao fan.
Yeah, and
Sawande.
Sawande. So those are the 5 guys.
And I thought it was interesting. They did mention Nobu was basically like Murakami's like number 1,
Yes, that was the one pulling the strings, they said, with
Yeah.
Nobu.
which I thought was cool because I thought it was ended up being him.
You know what's interesting I'm thinking about now? They mentioned Sawande, and, like, he had some kind of abilities.
Yeah.
Stick was like, don't get too close to him because something.
He can make your heart stop. or
Yeah, something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't get that, and we didn't see any of that.
No,
so I was
we
just
didn't,
like, okay,
yeah.
sure. Anyway, so pretty much the fight ends. Luke Cage is like thrown outside or whatever, and he gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then Sawande and his people go after him. So then, the rest of the defenders like are leaving, and they go to this warehouse. And pretty much the episode ends. They're like, oh my god, Luke, they took Luke or whatever. We gotta go find him, whatever. And then that's when Luke shows up, all beat up. He opens up his car, and you see Sawande tied up there.
Yeah.
And he says, we got one of theirs, and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to have seen Luke
battle.
Cage actually fight him.
Yeah.
Especially since he's one of the hand members, you want to see what this guy can do. You really need to see what Sawande can do.
Yeah.
Everyone else, you get to see what they can do. Sawande a little bit, he fought a little bit.
Well,
but-
we saw him in Luke Cage, right?
I don't recall
Like,
the white hat guy. I don't recall.
yeah. I had to
If
really
it was,
think about it.
If it was like really quick.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's how the episode ends, and they got one of theirs, and that leads into episode 6, where they're pretty much trying to interrogate him, and they're trying to figure out what to do now, because now they
Yeah.
have one of the hand members, and yeah, they're trying to figure out the next move.
Yeah.
On the other end, Murakami goes up to Alexandra's like, "Oh, I saw what happened
Right, and
with
we need
Elektra."
to like get Elektra, and they don't. We find out the other fingers of the hand don't want anything to do with Black Sky. They like hate the idea that Alexander used the last of their substance, their resources on
to revive Elektra.
Yeah.
Pretty much the substance they keep talking about is what makes them immortal.
Right.
And it keeps bringing them back to life for the most part, and that's the
What did you think about the process? So what did it? It's crushed up dragon like fossils or bones.
Yeah, it's like they crushed
mixed
up the
with
bone.
blood, and then that's what they like poured all over Electra, I think, to like get her back, right?
Yeah, to bring her back to life.
And these
That's,
dragon bones.
they brought back to life Nobu that way, and they brought back to life.
But there seems to
Bakuto.
be something special about Black Sky that makes her different than just the regular
And
resurrection.
they still haven't.
They
still haven't explained that.
Yeah.
That bothered me because it was like you said, like they were not. They're all doing their own thing, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. The hand does their own thing, and they keep saying that it's rare that they all come together.
Right.
But when they do, things, shit happens.
Yeah.
When they all get together. So they're all together now because they want to demolish New York and get to the resources, like you said, which we get to at the last episode. But then, like you said, the one who's really, like, Gal has always been behind Alexandra. Sawande and, what's his name?
Murakami.
They're the ones that have always been a little to Electra and to Alexandra. Bakuto doesn't show up till later, so we don't really get to see
He
his
seems
motives.
like the lowest on the totem. To me personally.
You think so?
He just, in those meetings, he never seemed to have any, like, he just seems like, oh,
Which is probably one of the
whatever.
reasons why I didn't like him either. It was just
Yeah.
like, he seems like a bit player.
But I
in
thought it
this.
was
like, I didn't think he was one of the fingers of the hand. Like,
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
a little,
Gao tried to, it seems like Gao and Murakami both tried to overthrow Alexandra at one point, and for whatever reason, she won, I guess, but...
Well, Alexandra briefly mentioned that, they're arguing now, but it's not the first time they argued.
Right.
It's not the first time that, she said, like, oh, we've all come face to face with assassination attempts,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like, oh, you've sent your assassins to kill me, and
Right.
I've dealt with them. So they have, like, that relationship. But Murakami is my favorite hand member because he says it. He goes, I never originally wanted to go with you.
Yeah.
Because the story behind the
Banished,
hand,
yeah.
where, Alexandra was the leader. She gathered her 4 people, which is the hand, and they all wanted to do their own thing with the chi and do, immortality, whatever. But the Kunlun people threw them out. And pretty much, it's interesting because then you see, like, the dynamic, especially with Gal.
Yeah.
Gal seems more like, even though she's, like, subservient to Alexandra, she, like, her mindset was, like, always from the goal that they want to go back to Kunlun.
Right.
Like, that's what their whole thing was, like, oh, we never want to be banished.
We want to
just-
live long enough to make it back.
to make it back to Kunlun, which I don't know if that was their original thing that got them kicked out of Kunlun was they wanted to use chi for their own selfish thing, right?
Yeah, the dragon remains.
No, but I don't know if that was always their thing,
Right.
because that became their thing because they wanted to go back. They wanted to live long enough to
Right.
get back.
So you're saying that the chi at first probably started with each of these special powers that each of them
yeah, they
has?
wanted to use it for their
Yeah.
own goals, power, or whatever. So
Right.
they got kicked out, and then their new goal became to live long enough to get back. Mm-hmm. Right. However.
And
it
then,
is.
so what the real question is, I think, is what you're getting at is, what is so special about this Black Sky that Alexandra was honestly willing to die? It almost seemed like, yes, she wanted to live, but she also knew that her time had come, and she wanted to do this one last thing before she died.
And they never really specified it. Like, my theory was, in the last episode, was she wanted to use, like, I thought they lived forever, not through some blood and made them young. Like, I
Right.
guess that's what happens. Like, it just
Yeah.
makes them young again. But I thought they just went into a different body, which is
Yeah.
why one was an African, one was an American, one was
Yeah.
Chinese, and one was Japanese. So they went into different bodies, which could still be the case. And I always thought that the Black Sky was what Alexandra wanted to go into. She was training Electra,
Mm-hmm.
so she becomes Electra, and she becomes, like, she's a blank slate,
Right.
It didn't seem that way by the time it ended, though.
Yeah.
So we still don't know what's so special about the Black Sky.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe she's just a little more powerful than everyone else. Because
Right.
it seemed like that way, like she just...
Well, what do you
Punch
think
Snoke.
about, what I thought was a cool thing was that the previous Iron Fist sealed away that cave. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, like we find out why they wanted Iron Fist this
Yeah.
whole time, because so pretty much the whole from season 2 of Daredevil is underneath Midland Circle, and so they find out there's like a gate that's there, because
Right.
they found out that's a gateway to Kunlun.
Wait, is that what it is, though? Or is
I
it a
think it
gateway
is.
to the graveyard?
I think that's
pretty
part
much?
of Kunlun.
I thought that, too. I thought it was maybe
think
a
it was like
gateway
it was
into
like
a
a back
different city
door.
of heaven.
No, I think it was a back door to
You think
Kunlun.
so?
I think it was a back
that's
door.
why they wanted to live long enough to get back.
They were
See,
happy.
that's what I originally thought.
So they were
but
happy because they were like, I don't care if this
Right.
comes down on us or whatever. We're already here. And we
Right.
could just walk out of the cave or whatever. But then that draws God questions because
Right.
at the end of what happens with Daredevil,
Yeah.
like, wait, if they're in Kunlun now, how does this have to do with anything?
Right.
It could be a gateway to another part of the world.
I'm thinking they have to introduce another city of heaven, I think.
I think it's another part of the world that's closer to Kunlun.
Maybe.
Maybe it's near, where was Kunlun supposed to be? In the Himalayas, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's around that area.
I'm
of the
thinking
world.
Gao has a connection to different cities in heaven. I really
There's a lot of
do.
questions.
I really do. Yeah.
But anyway, so there's a gate there, there's a door, and the Iron Fist is the key, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they can't break it down without the Iron Fist, the actual Iron Fist. So that's why they never wanted to kill Iron Fist. They didn't want to kill him. They just wanted to capture him and use him. So yeah.
Did you feel bad for him?
Who?
Iron Fist, when he was like kidnapped and stuff.
No, I didn't feel bad for him. Well, I didn't feel bad for him. I don't know.
I kind of felt bad for him because it was like
I
he was
mean,
like a 5-year-old who had like no idea what was going on.
It's just, and we'll get to like the overall impressions of the show. It's just, it was too quick. There wasn't enough time to grasp what was going on. Like there was a lot of things happening, but you couldn't digest what was happening. Just move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because we get going back, the infighting between the Hand and then Elektra and Alexandra talking to each other and blah blah blah. But then she leaves. Mm-hmm. Alexandra goes back like minutes later and it's like looking for her and she already bounced because she's not thinking about Matt Murdock all the time. And we found out that she goes back to his apartment.
Yeah, like lays in his bed.
Yeah,
and
and like reads the Bible and sees this thing and all that stuff. And she's starting to remember all this. So the seeds are planted there, but she ends up going back. Mm-hmm. Right? She ends up going back to the Hand so they could go back and try to get... Because they finally find out where... Oh, no. So then we get to the warehouse. And again, the Defenders are fighting each other. The African warlord, I forgot his name, Sawande, he is not giving them anything. He's just giving like, oh, you guys are gonna lose and all that. The spiel that villains give all the time. Mm-hmm. You guys have no, you can't stop us, sort of thing. It's already, the wheels are in motion. But then we get the infighting because we find out that they really want the Iron Fist for something, and I think Stick figures it out. This is why they're not killing him. They want him to open a door.
And that's why Stick wants to kill him.
Yeah, well, first they said, okay, we're going to go after the Hand, but Iron Fist is going to sit this out.
Yeah.
Because he could get captured or whatever. So, of course, Iron Fist, being Iron Fist, is like, no, I need to be there. It's my job to kill the Hand. Blah, 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 blah. So they're like, no, you need to stop. Another cool part was Stick was telling Matt behind closed doors, like, you need to be the leader. Iron Fist can't lead.
That was cool.
You need to lead them.
He really is the most talented fighter.
Of course
he is. He just is. Iron Fist sucks. Like, what the fuck?
Like, I feel like, you trained him this much, and yet he still sucks.
I just don't get it. I honestly, I was talking, I forget I was talking about this too. I think it was one of my friends. I feel like Finn Jones hadn't had that much time to fucking train. Honestly, like, I feel a little poorly because I feel like the Defender shot right after Iron Fist. He clearly needed to work on his... stunt
Well,
scenes.
I feel like a lot of that is stunt people anyway.
I mean, some of it, but...
It's not that. I just feel like they didn't give him enough to really showcase what he can do. I mean, in the first 4 episodes they did. Like, they had the fight with Elektra in the beginning.
I mean, that wasn't very good. Let's be real.
No, but the one in Midland Circle when he's fighting all those people by himself before Luke Cage shows up, that was pretty good.
You think so?
Yeah, I rewatched it. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Like, him
I mean,
really
the
fighting
moment
off
where
everybody.
he puts his thing through the sword, I'm like,
My girlfriend was like, that makes no sense. She swiped down and he punches straight, and yet they go like this.
I mean, that's actually very true.
I was like, she was like, if she would like thrust it into it,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. But she actually swiped down, and he was just like, no, and then
Yeah.
it was anyway.
Still cool,
Continuity, whatever.
Okay.
Continuity. Anyway, so yeah, I mean,
There was one at the end that was pretty good towards the end.
you mean in the actual cave?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe because I wasn't like feeling well yesterday, that I was just like, I want this to be over, like kind of thing. I was kind of like, all right, we got here. Can we get to the resolution of this whole thing?
There really wasn't any.
No, there wasn't any.
Yeah.
Like, the only resolution was it was sealed off again.
Okay, so what did you think? Daredevil, the thing is coming down. They're like, I don't know, like hooking up and dying at the same time.
Oh, him and Elektra.
Yeah, like.
Oh, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Are we though? Because like, what else happened?
Elektra killing Elektra.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
It was a big part, but it had no further impact. It was just like, okay, well, Alexander's gone now.
We need to talk about it because that's where I kind of got lost.
Okay.
The show lost me.
So why?
Because we just recapping again. Iron Fist. They get into a big fight with Iron Fist again. And they it was a cool scene where he punches Luke Cage right in the chest and everyone goes flying back.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
And I was like, oh shit, did he like kill Luke? It's just like, what did he just do? Punch him in the chest. But then that's when Jessica Jones just
I thought that was Madame Gao that punched Luke.
No, it happened later. But like in the warehouse when they're fighting,
okay,
and he used like they're fighting him and he uses the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, who looks the worst fighting, by the way, her fighting was terrible. Talking about terrible fighters.
You think so?
She was the worst. And I know she's supposed to be like not a trained fighter, but Luke Cage is not a trained fighter. He looks good fighting. I don't know if it's Kristen Ritter or the stunt person or the direction they're giving him, but she's just flailing around.
I mean, that's what she has always done, though.
I guess, but when you put her next to Iron Fist and Daredevil who do martial arts, and then Luke Cage who actually looks like he knows how to fight, I don't know. It just looked weird. Like she was just going.
I feel like Mike Coulter has probably never been in a fight in his life.
I think he trained a little bit in boxing to get to this role.
Well, no, I'm sure he trained, but like as far as getting into an actual fight, I cannot see him getting into
I don't know,
a
maybe.
fight.
Maybe he could. Maybe he did growing up.
I don't think so. He's too nice.
I don't know where he grew up. I have no idea. But anyway, we're sidetracked.
Yeah.
So Iron Fist, they knock out Iron Fist and they tie him up. So now Jessica Jones and Matt Murdock go off on their own to figure out some things. And this is what I was telling you earlier off camera, where there's a lot of meddling around. Mm-hmm. Like we get the fight scene in the Chinese restaurant, we get some exposition, and then we get some hand stuff, and then nothing happens for like a whole episode. And it's like Jessica and Matt go off to figure out something about the architect, and they start getting to know each other and joking around. And
like
everything.
that.
I mean, it's cool, but like when you don't have first of all, you don't have a lot of time because there's only 8 episodes. Number 2, you just came out of a crazy fight, and you have this. The city's in danger. Your people, your family and friends are in danger, and it's just like, let's just joke around a little bit. I don't know. It just caught me
Did you not love the subway scene? Come on.
What's the subway scene with Matt and Jessica?
And Luke, where they're like, well, we don't have any cash. They just like fought some hand. No one has their wallet, and Jessica's like, well, I got a Metro card, and they like hop on the subway, and that was such a good scene.
There's some cool little moments, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. It just caught me off guard. Like, it could have been better earlier in the season.
Jessica Jones, Daredevil romance.
No.
Come on.
No.
What?
No. I don't know. They're cool. Like they became cool. Like I won't even call them friends, but they became like really like good allies. We're like, okay, I understand.
Because there's a lot of people shipping that. I'm not personally for it. I want Jessica and Luke.
Just Jessica and Luke and Daredevil, Elektra is fine.
Yeah.
And Iron Fist and Colleen is fine. That's fine.
Who was Colleen with in the comics?
Not Iron Fist.
Yeah, I know.
Iron Fist was with Misty.
Right.
Which is like, I mean, they technically could do, I guess, but
yeah,
I don't think I kind of like Colleen and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, she was part of the hand and he's not, and I'm destined to kill the hand, but you're part of the hand and I love you.
Right.
Like Romeo and Juliet, I guess. It's just me.
I feel like they're gonna break up.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Iron Fist too, when she just goes off on her own, and Iron Fist and Luke Cage. The best bromance was Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Yeah, like, they are good.
Like they were really good in like that second episode when they were just first talking. But as the season went on, especially when he got tied up in the warehouse and they're just sitting down talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man,
that was so good. That was so
like,
good.
Like that's so good. Like yo, I could see a whole
Luke's just reading the newspaper, just shooting the shit while he's like squirming like a 5-year-old. Yeah.
Like. We don't need Iron Fist, Luke Cage season 2s. We need them both together in their own series. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you're right.
Like, it's just so cool. Like,
what are they going to do in a Luke Cage season 2?
I have no clue. Like, there's nothing to do. There's really nothing for them to do. I don't even think Iron Fist needs it.
Needs a season?
No, his own season.
Well, it's going to be about not the Iron Fist.
No, it's going to be him, but then Daughters of the Dragon are
That's
going
what
to
I'm
be
saying.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not. It's his season, so it's
Right.
gonna
It'll-
and it'll probably be the guy, Steel Serpent or
Yeah,
whatever.
Davos.
Davos.
Who was last we seen was
But
like,
why can't they
plotting
do that
Joy.
with Luke Cage? Why can't Luke Cage just be with him doing this?
That's not how the storyline goes.
What? Really? How does that start? Like, they could do whatever they want. This is TV. They don't have to go strictly by the comics.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what they do.
I can see what they're gonna do with Iron Fist. There's a lot of storyline there. But Luke Cage, I'm not sure. Maybe they'll tie in an arc with Jessica.
Maybe. But Jessica has her own season too, which is like that makes more sense than a Luke Cage season 2, personally.
Yeah.
But we could get to that when we think like what's next for every character. But all right, so anyway, we finally get to the point where Elektra shows up. Oh no! Then we have that point where Sawande tries to get out.
Yeah.
This is before Iron Fist gets tied up, and he takes Iron Fist hostage, and his stick just cuts his head off real quick.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
And I was just like, oh, okay, so he's dead.
Yeah.
So one hand member is gone.
So who killed Stick again? I forget. Elektra?
Elektra.
That's what I thought.
So anyway,
Ha! That's what he gets.
yeah, well, I understand. You understand Stick what he was trying to do though for the greater good.
Oh yeah.
So if he's dead, then they can't open
Right.
it.
Stick's the only one willing to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
cut his own hand off.
Yeah.
I saw that again. It looked better the second time around.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
I don't know.
maybe the post production, it didn't look so fake the second time around. I was like,
Interesting.
okay, that doesn't look like a fake hand anymore.
Yeah. Well, we were watching it like on lower quality.
Yeah, it was like a screener. I don't think it was
Yeah.
like the actual finished thing. Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know. It didn't look so whatever. But then we get Elektra showing up. They found him because they said that since he used the Iron Fist, apparently that they could track that.
No, it was a cell phone.
No, that was in the Chinese restaurant.
Oh.
He used the Iron Fist against Luke, right? And they said, okay, we only have like an hour before they figure out where he is. Because apparently they could track that sort of thing. That's what they said.
Are you sure?
I am almost certain they said that.
Interesting.
So, so Elektra finds them. But first Stick, is doing his incense thing. And Luke Cage is like, oh, what is that? And he's just like,
Oh yeah.
swift in it, take it in. And it kind of it's like poison or whatever it was. And then disorients Luke Cage, and that
Oh yeah, and then it's
That's what
actually Elektra that saves Iron Fist.
yes, because Stick is about to kill Iron Fist. Because sorry about this, if you're gone, then they can't fulfill their plan, and they'll end up dying anyway. So he's about to kill him. But Elektra shows up, kills. No, he doesn't kill Stick yet, because that's when Daredevil shows up, and that's when he sees it.
Oh.
So he's fighting with Stick. Elektra and Stick are fighting. Blah 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 blah. Iron Fist is also getting dazed from the incense, and that's what Jessica and Matt are walking, and he hears it from mad far away too. He hears
Yeah.
a clanging of the swords, and he's like, "Oh my god, let's go!"
And probably sniffs Elektra, I'd assume.
I think it's more the clanging of the swords he
Yeah.
hears, and so he gets there and he's on the floor. He sees him stab Stick. No, and then he runs, takes on, and then she beats the crap out of both of them. She beats all of them down, and then takes freaking Iron Fist on her shoulder, and just goes. I'm
Just
like,
goes.
damn. I'm like, damn, Elektra, you've been lifting apparently. So, yeah, but that's the thing, and then that's how the episode ends. I think that's episode 6.
I don't know. I'm not trying to go through all these
Anyway,
episodes.
no,
but
I'm just saying that's how that episode
Yeah.
ends, and they're all on the floor.
Yeah.
And they're all beat up. So that's the thing, that's what I mean about there's no time to really let it sink in. Stick just died. That was, and they kind of said that whole thing where Matt said, Stick was all I had, and Stick even says it, Matt and Elektra were the only people I had. That was his kids pretty much. So, that kind of it was a little resonating thing, and then seeing his father figure, because his father was dead, just die from the person he loves. We don't even get oh man.
I don't agree because real life doesn't wait for stuff to sink in.
No, of
And
course
you
not.
know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
feel like it was just it spiraling out of control. I mean, it's kind of what something we haven't seen Marvel Netflix do. I mean, really all these events that we've seen before take place over such long periods of time, and it's
Yeah.
it was nice to see more things at stake, really fast.
I just feel that it became an afterthought. Stick's death. It should have like it was
He
like
shoulda-
it was
yeah.
like we even though we predicted him dying, it kind of made sense for him to die, just to see it happen. Like, oh man, and the way it happened, like, damn, that sucks. But then like it was an afterthought. Yeah, episode ended. The next episode starts up. They're all in the police station, and I don't even think it's brought up again. Like, it might have been brought up like really quickly, but that was about it.
What are
Like,
they
when-
supposed to do? Like,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know they
mean,
had
as
only a
much
certain amount of
as-
time to do things.
Daredevil cared about Stick, he also fucking hated the guy.
He hated him in the way that you hate your father.
I
where
don't
it's
think
like,
so.
Yeah, when your father
He-
wants you to be
he
something that you
genuinely
don't want to be.
did not agree with him.
No, he didn't agree with him. Philosophically, he didn't agree with him.
Yeah.
But that's like a father-son thing. It's like, my father wants me to be one thing, and I want to do my own thing. That's pretty much how I took it.
I don't know.
But
I
he
think
kinda-
Stick
he
had
respected
selfish.
him.
I think Stick had selfish reasoning behind taking Matt in.
No, it's selflessness, actually.
I don't think so. The only reason he took him because he saw his natural fighting abilities and was like,
'Cause
I
he
want
wanted
this
him
guy to
to-
fight with
yeah.
Chase.
Yeah.
That's pretty selfish. What if Daredevil didn't have those abilities?
Selfish in a way of that, yes, but selfless in a way for the greater good. He wanted him to fight the hand.
Yeah, but
For the greater good, yeah.
I mean,
That was just different philosophies. It was like, for the greater good, I want you to be a killer, a warrior, or whatever.
a greater good. I want you to like just start murdering people left and right with no hesitation. I mean, that's
For
pretty
greater
much
good.
what. Yeah, but
Bad people, not like innocent
he's a
people.
Christian. Like,
I guess, yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
That was
I don't
the whole
know.
thing.
I think Daredevil looked down on Stick. Like, I don't think.
I don't know about that.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
definitely not at first when he was a kid. Like, he grew up with him, whatever.
Well, he
And
had
you can't
no
take
choice.
away-
Like,
I mean, yeah, but then you can't just take away 15 years of your life growing up with the person. You know, and not have a connection with the person.
I'm sure he has a connection, but what I'm more saying is it might have been a little bit of a relief. I guess that's my point. You know what I mean? And that's probably why it wasn't brought up, because it's like this guy has been.
I don't know. The way he reacted when he died.
I mean,
me
I'm sure he was
otherwise.
upset, but like I think it was a little bit of a relief for him not to have that hanging over his head, that other life that he's constantly having to choose between being a lawyer, being this vigilante on his own, and being the
You think
Chase with Elektra.
That's still gonna hang over his head if Stick was there or not.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that's probably why it wasn't like furtherly addressed.
I
Like,
think it
why
wasn't
bring
fully
it up?
addressed because it just wasn't time. Which is why some of the problems I had with the season was like, I get it for time reasons, you just gotta move on. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I
of
think it's going to be addressed in Daredevil season 3.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, but like for the people who've been following Daredevil and whatever, and you're like, damn, this guy died, and they're not gonna get anything from that until a year from now.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't think it needed to be addressed at that moment. I
Okay.
think it just needed to keep moving, you know.
Okay.
I don't know,
I
I
would have
didn't
like.
feel
I
that
mean,
way.
I think he's mentioned it real quickly to Foggy, right in the police station. Was like, Stick is dead.
Oh, by the way, I love the scene where they're all like about to get arrested and Daredevil like talks his way out of it.
He's like, look, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one thing.
That
I
was a
gonna,
good scene.
I was gonna put it on
Yeah.
Twitter, but I didn't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen Defenders. You know, the hand. I'm like, how dumb can a hand be? Because, tell me if I'm wrong. In the Chinese restaurant, did he have the scarf over his head? No.
Yeah.
Right. So he was completely.
Well, he put it on really quick. I thought.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he gave it back already.
I don't know.
When he was introducing himself to Cage and Iron
Mm-hmm.
Fist, he took his scarf off and gave it back to Jessica. So then when the hand came and they're all standing like this, he has no mask on. So he's fighting plainclothes Matt Murdock. Alexandra was there, all the hand was there, and they still don't know who Daredevil is?
Wait, why do you think they still don't know?
Because they said that.
Oh, the police, you mean?
No, the hand. They were like, they got... Because then when Jessica Jones and Trish were being attacked by the Japanese guy, Daredevil shows up in full Daredevil, and it completely takes everyone off guard because he goes back to the hand and be like, they got the devil on their side. And they were like, I'm like, you don't know that's this guy? He was fighting with them the whole time. Who do you think that guy was?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just don't associate because
I guess.
he's
I mean, I guess
blind.
because the only thing I could think of was they don't know who Matt Murdock is, and I guess he's just not a high-profile person that you could just recognize Matt Murdock.
Probably not, yeah.
But it's just like, maybe the guy they were fighting with in the Chinese restaurant is probably Daredevil. Maybe. I don't know. That just took me off. I was just like, really? Like, you didn't know who Daredevil was? Because Jessica
Yeah.
said it, too. It's like, Like, you don't think they'll just figure it out once they see you?
Well, I'm wondering how it's gonna work now that Matt Murdock is dead, because I mean some people are gonna put it together that Matt Murdock's missing, that the Devil of Hell's Kitchen is gone. You know what I mean? And now he wakes up in this. How are they gonna handle it? Is he gonna have to conceal his real identity forever, or like
they brought that up at the end with Foggy and Karen Page. That it's too coincidental that he's dead, and then the Devil's Hell Kitchen hasn't been. People are gonna start putting that together, and I think Karen Page I think since she's a journalist in this show, that she's gonna try to spin it so that no one puts together the pieces. I think that's what she was trying to say.
Well, no, that was earlier when, like, in the police station when Foggy gives him his thing, and they were surprised then that they're this close. The police are this close to putting it together already. But I don't think they talked about it post death. You know,
in the church, I think at his funeral.
Well, she didn't want to write the story about the building. Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she was trying to cover it up, saying because she was saying like people are gonna start putting it together that Matt Murdock is dead at the same time that the Devil of Hell's Kitchen is gone.
Yeah,
So.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to get to the point where I kind of got lost and the villains just became an afterthought for me, and that's when Elektra kills Alexandra. So she brings the Iron Fist to the hand, and now Alexandra's like, "See, you guys always forget. I always win." Blah blah blah, and Elektra just kills her.
Yeah.
And like slices her throat and just like stabs her or whatever she does. And I'm like, "Yep, I'm the new leader of the Hand now."
But she doesn't want to be the Hand, kind of.
Here she's like, "I don't have the same things as you," and I don't know. And it was at the moment I was like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming."
Yeah.
But then like thinking back on it, I was just like, you just took the piss out of the whole organization where the leader is so gullible, I guess. Like, she's so blinded by her, I guess her impending death that she just ignores all the signs that this chick is going to betray you. You know? Like, okay, do you not see she left on her own, right? Your colleagues are telling you that, she's not killing him when she has the chance to.
I don't think Alexandra cares. I think she just wanted a daughter figure. Remember how she talked about how she lost her daughter? And this kind of Black Sky thing is a kind of a way where she could live on, you know what I mean? Have a legacy.
And like, it goes back to like what makes the Black Sky special. It goes back to that. Like, we still don't know. And I personally thought it was their way of her becoming young again by becoming Elektra. And that makes way more sense. But that's not explained at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's not explained how they live so long. Is it making them de-age and making them young again? Are they going into a different body? I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, because it's like, what's the point? Like, why did they really need Elektra? They could have literally just captured Iron Fist and have him break open the wall without Elektra there.
Why?
Why wouldn't they? Why didn't they need the Black Sky?
Because no one could fucking get him.
No, I know. You're gonna tell me none of them could get them?
No, they tried.
They almost look in the Midland Circle thing. When he was in the Midland Circle, they had him captured until Luke Cage showed up.
Right.
Because he was there and they were about to like tranquilize him. They would have had him.
I don't know. I don't think the Hand.
What does the Black Sky have to do with anything?
She just is the most skilled fighter. You know?
I guess. But is she really? Like, Matt Murdock was beating her ass the whole time.
Well, of the Hand, I think.
I mean, I suppose. We don't really know that. Like, they never really fought each other.
I think she is. Yeah, by far.
It's implied that she's stronger than all of them. Mm-hmm. But it's not really shown. Like, I don't know.
It's pretty shown. She's fucking badass.
I don't know, because we don't really see how well they can fight, really.
The problem with Alexandra's death to me was Sigourney Weaver was like the eyepiece of this whole show. Like, it was supposed to be like leading up to her, and she's the big bad. She's the one controlling all of it, and then she just.
And in the end, she doesn't factor into anything.
Yeah, that's what gets me.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because part of the reason why I kind of was so enthusiastic about the Hand still continuing was because we'd finally learn more about how all these operations are working. And while we did, but then you're just going to go... And she didn't even showcase any of her skills or anything like that. She just kind of stood there and talked.
Like, what makes her the leader? Like, why would she'd be such a badass that these 4 other people
Right.
who are badasses in their own right
Maybe we'll find
are
out.
like kind of not afraid of her, but are really just
Yeah.
letting her lead the way and telling them what to do,
Yeah.
even when they don't believe in what she's doing.
Right.
Like, what makes her so special?
I
Like,
think
I don't understand
maybe
it.
we'll get some. I know I don't get it either. I mean, maybe we'll get some sort of flashback.
I don't know. Like, unless Gal shows up and we get more info on that.
I mean, Gal's coming back. If you think that's a portal, I
She's
think
the only
she
one that's
might have
alive,
escaped
man.
through that. Maybe brought that Murakami guy with her.
Oh, he was dying.
He
yeah.
died, but his head
didn't
wasn't
die,
off.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the only way to kill him?
I think
guess?
so. Yeah. So if they
I
can,
hope Murakami is still alive because he was like by far the most interesting.
I mean, Gal was shown in the Iron Fist, like, what's it called? Like, I don't want to say post credits, but like final scene, like where it flashes forward when Joy is meeting with Davos. Madame Gal is like peering at them in the background and smiling and drinking tea. So she's gotta fucking live. There's no way she's not living. You know what I mean?
yeah, she's easily the one who's alive. I'm hoping Murakami's still alive, and you have 2 hand members still. Cause Murakami, like I said, like he was like the most interesting. He was the one that was questioning everything.
Yeah.
He was us. He was the first like, why should we follow you?
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to trust this Elektra person who's clearly not all there?
Right.
You know? And it's just like, she was like, one badass scene when she's eating dinner alone, Alexandra.
Yeah.
And she goes, "May I join you for dinner?" And like, "Hey, I brought this thing." It's like, "Oh, I know you like to eat by yourself." And I forgot how it goes. It's like, "Oh, this is going to be your last meal. I wanted it to be a good one." And they're about to go fight each other.
Who?
Murakami and Alexandra.
Oh.
And that's when Elektra shows up with Iron Fist, and it just kind of stops everything.
Oh, yeah.
We have the Iron Fist to stop fighting. Because he doesn't believe in what she's doing. Like, yo, we're doing this without you. We don't need you, sort of thing. And your Black Sky person, we're gonna get Iron Fist on our own.
Right.
But that's when, thankfully for Sigourney Weaver.
And then Gal's like, "Oh, well, this matches with our agenda too. We want to open this portal or whatever. May as well just go along."
But remember, they were saying also, they were threatening her, saying
Right.
like, "Look, we're gonna start making plans without you in the Black Sky anyway."
Right.
Um,
You know what?
Yeah.
This Black Sky thing, because they clearly had more of a reason that they weren't saying about why they didn't want to introduce this Black Sky into the whole situation. And it wasn't just because of the Elektra, like, having feelings for Matt. It's something deeper than that, because they kind of were against it from the jump.
It just never explained well enough. Like, it wasn't explained well in season 2 of Daredevil. Maybe a little better in season 2, where it's just like, she's destined to be this person, this destroyer
Right.
or whatever.
Why was she
why?
destined from a child?
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they put something in her? Is there something in her that's making her this way? Because
Right.
you don't just become a killer like that, you know? Like, she was trained by Stick to be a killer, and we saw, like, there was a flashback of Stick and Elektra before, when she first met Matt, and it was like, and he told her, "You're supposed to turn him to our side."
Right.
And she's like, "He can't, blah, blah, blah." And and Stick was like, he actually turned you to his side. Mm-hmm. And, that back and forth that we had. So,
They better give us fucking answers.
I still
to
don't
this.
get that bite. It's like,
Yeah.
that's where it lost me. It's just like, okay, Alexandra's gone, and now she's taking it up now. And what pissed me off was she wasn't straight up bad guy now.
Elektra?
Like, no, she wasn't. She wasn't straight bad guy. She was just like, let's just do this thing.
I think she's straight bad.
She wasn't straight bad.
I think she is.
She wasn't straight bad. Like, she had no remorse for Matt Murdock or nothing like that. If she was straight bad, like, I'm gonna go kill Matt Murdock now.
Well, just because you're bad doesn't mean you want to kill people. I think her intentions and her agenda is very villain.
No, her intentions were that she actually wanted the resources
substance, yeah.
so they could live forever and be together forever.
Are you sure that's what
That's
it was?
exactly what she said.
So do you think she revived Matt and then turned him back to the thing?
No. She didn't, because they don't have they got the resources, but they don't have the blood or anything to do that.
How do you know that?
We don't. Honestly.
We don't know how much time has passed.
But he looks all beat up.
I know, but
So
I mean, if
think,
you revive
they
someone,
think they just pulled him out of the rubble. Personally,
you think so?
Mm-hmm.
From how many stories down were they? There's no way.
the portal. It's the portal, the cave, somewhere. That cave is a cave.
So that means someone have to come in through the other side.
Yes.
So who?
The nuns, apparently. I don't know.
Your theory is not making sense, Bill.
It makes more sense than what? Then what do you think?
I think Elektra didn't want him to die, and I think
Maybe
she
Elektra
saved
pulled him out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
maybe.
I'm thinking. Yeah, or Gal.
And just why would Gal save him?
so that maybe that's how Gao could keep track on a Black Sky.
I think Gao gets away, maybe with the Japanese dude. I think Elektra pulls.
Because Gao and Daredevil are on bad terms. They didn't really end on bad terms at the end of Daredevil.
But there's no
season
reason
2.
for her to save him.
Yeah, there is.
If anything,
because-
he will stop anything she wants to do.
No, because
that's what he did in
Daredevil
season
is the link between Gao and Iron Fist and Gao and Black Sky. Because Daredevil is gonna keep the relationship with both of them. So Gao, she thinks ahead. So she's thinking, I don't know what Iron Fist is doing. I don't know what Black Sky is doing.
She has the resources to not need him to do that.
I don't know. Does she though?
She has her whole gang. She has the Hand
Who?
still. The Hand is still
The Hand is-
around.
I
The
mean-
Hand is dead, but the followers are still there.
She can't be out risking her life. There's no more substance. She has to play the mind game. She has to play the
That's interesting. If there's no more substance left, like that just enclosed everything, and like no one could be revived again. That's interesting.
I don't know. I think Gao doesn't want to get her hands dirty. You know what I mean? So she's more of a tail and trail kind of a thing. Gather information, then make the big move. You know what I mean?
Maybe I don't think. I think it's too risky to keep him alive, and I think Gao is smarter than that. Where it's just like, there's no reason for me to keep you around and for you to, stop what my plans are like you did in season 1. Like, I would just let you die. Like, there's no reason for me to save you. Especially if she was saving the other guy. Let's say if she's saving the other guy. There's no reason she needs to save 2 people. It's more likely that Elektra saved him.
Yeah, definitely.
Brought him to the nuns or whatever, and then she left.
Well,
to
she's
do her
also
own
the only
thing.
one who knows about his mother, who that might be.
Maybe, yeah.
That's the only person.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's get into that final fight then, and then we'll just wrap up that.
1 second, though. Does this
go
mean
ahead.
that the crushed dragon bone is what was in that heroin?
What heroin?
Remember the special heroin that Gao's Operation and Fisk with the Steel Serpent logo on it? The dragon logo? Was the crushed dragon bone what made that heroin so special?
I don't know.
Because I don't, you know what? That's the one thing I was wondering.
I don't know. Why would they put it in the heroin, though?
To make their product the best.
But why would you waste it if you need that to stay alive?
I don't know.
I would say no, personally. I
Yeah.
don't think it was. I just think it's their calling card or something.
Okay.
But yeah, let's just talk about the last episode. We've already been talking about it. Like, so then we get to like the Midland Circle, into the cavern underneath where the big hole was, and that's where the portal is to where the dragons used to live. And there's just a bunch of bones and fossils of dragons. And yeah, we got the big fight. We had a cool scene with Jessica Jones catching the elevator. Yeah. So they could get away. Daredevil pulls Iron Fist to the side and pretty much just tells him like, just go, blow it up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Leave
me.
me here.
I'm about to die anyway. He wants to die with Elektra.
At first, I thought it was just the Shao Lao dragon that was dead because of the way Iron Fist reacted, but it's more dragons, right? Yeah.
Because I think Gao says it.
Yeah.
These animals used to roam
the green.
there before
whatever.
man, I guess. As always.
Beast, she called him, which kind of confirmed, I guess, from the comics, like the Beast of the Hand is how the Hand has these mystical powers. And so I think that was placed there for a reason. She said Beast for a reason, because that's where this arc kind of comes from with Elektra and the Black Sky arc. It's definitely influenced by the Beast of the Hand, which was like the demonic figure that the Hand kind of worshipped.
Well, I mean, yeah, like they mentioned the beast and they're pretty much dragons, obviously.
Right.
And
They kind of merged that, like, Kunlun storyline with this other one.
that's one thing they didn't explain, like
Yeah.
where that gate led to.
Right.
It leads somewhere. It obviously leads out somewhere, and I think it's like more towards Kunlun. Like it's closer to where Kunlun is. Because we don't know actually. So, I mean, we get the big fight. Daredevil's fighting with Elektra and like try to, knock some sense into her, and she's just like that's what she says it. She goes, "You think I care about the Hand? You think I care about this? I just want the resources so you and I can live forever and be together forever." That's pretty much what she wanted. So she's obviously more back than she was before, like memory-wise, but she's clearly not all there. Like she's just like her mind is distorted from being brought back to life. So she's like, "No, I want to be with Matt." forever, and I don't care how that happens, you know. So then they kind of just like embrace and like let the rubble fall on them.
Yeah.
Up top, we get the fight with Bakuto, Colleen, Claire, and Misty shows up
Oh
later.
my god. I thought I was sitting there like sweating because I was like, is Claire gonna die? Is Missy gonna lose her arm? Is both gonna happen? Like, who's gonna kill him? Like, I was like sweating my ass off. Like,
You finally got your wish. You got
Yeah.
Misty's. That's brutal. Getting her arm chopped off that way.
that was
It's like,
terrible.
"Gah."
That was
I
terrible.
was like, oh, damn. Damn,
Yeah.
that sucks. That was her right arm, right? I think.
I was really
Oh.
thinking Claire was gonna die, and I
that's
thought
what
they were gonna
predicted.
hold off on the Misty thing for some reason. But I knew that they
I'm
weren't.
glad they
I knew
didn't.
they weren't gonna do both. I knew they weren't gonna do both.
I'm glad, actually, kind of glad they did the way they went. Especially
Same.
if Iron Fist Season 2 is the Daughters of the Dragon.
Yeah.
It makes more sense for her to have her arm cut off. They didn't. It makes more sense because now she don't have to be a cop anymore.
Yeah.
She can't be a cop anymore.
Well, I mean, she can, but
She just can't be on the field.
why
'Cause
not?
She has only one arm. You can't
So?
hold a gun. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, she can hold a gun.
You can't if you're gonna have a holder like this, just hold a gun out.
Yeah.
But then what if someone's coming at you? You can't. You only have one arm to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it'll force her to learn martial arts, is what you're
Oh,
thinking.
Maybe, yeah. But then
Yeah.
obviously she's gonna got a prosthetic arm, obviously. But that
From-
wasn't
From Rand Technologies.
probably.
Yeah.
But that was that like teased?
Yeah.
Because they said like Colleen just told her like,
We want to get you up and running again. Danny owns a special hospital.
well, they're in the hospital now.
Well,
And-
well, like special facility or something.
yeah, they kind of like, but they
Yeah.
weren't overt in saying, oh yeah, you know, he owns this prosthetic company.
Well,
like, they didn't say that.
Up
you
and
know?
running implies.
Like he owns the building, the hospital, clearly, and it was just like, yeah, you're in the best care or whatever.
Well, no, I don't think it was the hospital they were in.
I think the hospital they were in.
No, it wasn't. It was she was talking about like another facility for her like post, healing.
Her
thing.
rehab or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I was under the impression they were already in that hospital.
No.
Okay.
They're at like Metro General or some random
that I don't remember.
general one. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. But that's
Is that it?
That's really it. And then obviously the cliffhanger at the end. You know,
Yeah.
everyone goes their own special way. Everyone goes their own way.
Yeah.
Jessica and Luke are at the bar, and then they're about to go their own separate ways.
That was sad when Jessica was like, maybe we can get coffee sometime. And like Luke looked back and was like,
Does she really mean coffee, or does she mean
she meant
coffee?
she meant Marvel definition of coffee.
Because I don't know if the two of them understood that.
Oh,
Because I thought that was Luke's thing.
no.
Because I don't remember Jessica Jones. That's too far back for me to remember if they had that coffee talk.
It's just known,
No, for us, obviously, and for Luke,
Yeah.
because he gave that look like, yeah, about that sort of thing. But I don't know if Jessica really meant coffee, and it was just like, haha, if you only knew what coffee meant.
I mean,
That's how I
either
took it.
way,
That's how I took
either
it.
way, we know what Jessica meant. You know,
No, I don't know if that we meant by Jessica.
Jessica.
You know, it's interesting because it's never, like, I guess too much is going on that Luke was like, no, I'm seeing somebody. You know what I mean? Like, he never told Jessica
I
that.
mean, it's not our business.
No,
you know?
clearly not.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm just saying, like, it was never brought up, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And it was actually a scene towards the end where all three women he was with were almost in the same room.
Yeah.
in the police station, Jessica Jones and Claire was there. And I thought Misty was going to walk in on them. I would be like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's Luke's women right there.
Yeah.
All three women. But that didn't happen, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go their separate ways. Iron Fist tells Colleen, I think New York is our home now. And Colleen was happy.
Right.
Because I think Iron Fist was going to go travel the world again. And she goes, something tells me I should stay here. So they're staying. Luke goes back to Harlem, tells Jessica, you have a friend in Harlem. Jessica goes back to her investigation. Her friend, her assistant or whatever he is like patching up bullet holes. And then
They got a new door that
Yeah.
says Alias.
Yep, Alias Investigations is back up. And that's really it. And then we get the cliffhanger where Daredevil wakes up, all messed up, and he looks like there's a nun next to him, and is like, get Maggie. He's
Yeah.
awake. Obviously talking about his mom. Mm-hmm. So,
Which she was mentioned a few times earlier in Daredevil, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying Maggie.
Well, because
like, huh.
Daredevil's father, what is it, Jack, called her and was like, take care, before he left for the fight or whatever, was like, take care of, Matt. obviously that didn't end up happening, you know? That's the one I remember. But I remember reading about that Stick asked a nun if they knew where Daredevil's mom was or something. I don't recall that.
Remember.
I don't recall that.
No, I don't remember. But, fans of Daredevil in the comics know Maggie is his mom. I don't know if it was, it might have been referenced in either season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It could have been, but even then, that's so far away, back. But you're you remember Maggie?
I mean, we know that's her name, that it was mentioned previously, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Me knowing the comics, I just knew. I'm like, oh, Maggie, that's
right.
her mom. His mom, isn't it? And then I got confirmation later. I was like, yeah, that's his mom. But
speaking of Easter eggs, the Linda Carter thing, Misty's in the hospital, we see the nurse board, and it says L. Carter.
Mm-hmm.
So...
it's the original night nurse, she said, right?
Yeah, I really hope it's pissing me off about Claire because she is such an important character, but she really doesn't have a character arc. We actually don't know anything about her. Think about it.
Now,
what do we
what's
actually
her
know
character
about
arc
her?
done? She met with everybody. That was pretty much her character arc.
Yeah.
She was trying to get away from this world, and yet she got right into it.
Where does she come from? What's her family? Well, we don't know anything about
I know her mom.
I know, but it's kind of
whatever.
pissing me off because I'm just wondering, she either needs to kind of leave or get a true story arc, you know?
Unless she's becomes a badass nurse and can heal.
Yeah, but with
anything.
the teaser of the night nurse Linda Carter,
that's just I think that's a little cool nod.
maybe, but
I don't think we're gonna get another night nurse.
I don't think Claire is the night nurse though. You know what I mean? Maybe she's,
Maybe. I thought she was gonna die this year. In this show, I mean.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Maybe that's more because I want Jessica Jones and Luke Cage to get back together.
I think it already teased that Claire and Luke's relationship is kind of going off the hinges because while she supports him being a hero, she never really wants that life for him. She said it at the beginning. She was like...
She said that towards the end with Colleen.
Yeah.
Was look where we're in. I want to get away from this. I left
right.
Hell's Kitchen when Daredevil was there. Left that. Ended up in Harlem.
I could see her breaking up with Luke Cage.
Yeah. Because then, and another interesting part with Luke Cage was, he didn't want to kill anybody.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, y'all need to kill. Kind of thing. And he kind of because, he didn't want to blow up the building.
Right.
And they were like, everyone else was in agreement. Even Jessica was like, no, we got to kill him. Because they're going to keep coming after us. And he finally was like, fine.
Yeah.
Which was interesting to me. Because I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think that was going to come out of Luke.
It's not interesting to me. I mean, I can imagine killing people is probably very traumatic for him.
No, you don't want to.
Yeah.
But, that kind of was a no-brainer to me. I'm like, why don't you want to?
I was surprised that they chose to blow up the building, honestly. I didn't see that coming.
It makes sense to close it up again
I know.
so no one uses it.
It was a little bit, a lot. It was a lot, though.
Maybe, yeah. But, I mean, so, yeah, that's the Defenders. What did you think overall?
I liked it. I did. I think my least favorite part was how they tried to play it off oh yeah, Daredevil's dead. That was the end.
Oh, that's another thing. That was
and then for 5 minutes I was I was actually believing it, and then I was like, no, Autumn, what the fuck? No, he's not dying. There's no way he's dead. And it just kind of ruined it.
We all knew season 3 is coming.
Yeah.
So it was just and they spent 15 minutes kind of grieving for Daredevil.
Which I was tearing. I was very sad. And I was what?
It would have been a lot more impactful if we didn't know there was a season 3 coming.
Yeah.
It would have been I was like, did you guys not read the news?
Or if they didn't show the Maggie scene.
If they didn't show him at the end.
Yeah.
They should not have said season 3. They should never have announced season 3, I feel. They should have left it off with just that scene at the end. Oh, he's alive.
Oh, yes. See, I would have preferred season 3. We know season 3, that's fine, but maybe not leave off with the Maggie thing. You know what I mean?
No,
have us reeling for a long time.
But then the impact is not there because you already know season 3 is happening.
So, but you don't know how he lived. You don't know really,
we don't. But that still leaves a lot of questions. And gets more hype about season 3. Oh my god, we're going to learn about his mother. Or how did he get out? Or
yeah, you
what's
got to
going to
give
happen
the people
next?
something these days.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know how I felt about it. It was uneven. The first half of it, I liked.
Really?
Especially after rewatching it. I was like, yeah, I like it more after rewatching it. And then after Elektra turned on Alexandra, I kind of
I am a little bit.
It just
See,
took it out for
I'm
me.
so into all that mystical stuff that almost overrides the fact that the Hand were kind of weak villains in the series.
They were weak, yeah.
I liked all that mystical stuff though. When I found out the previous Iron Fist like sealed it up, like inside of my eyes lids are like picturing that old, that black and white scene of that previous Iron Fist that was like really thrilling in Iron Fist season 1. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like just the thought about that, you know what I mean, and what that means like for all the history, and finding out that Alexandra had lived with 5 different names since the 1800s. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. But then Alexandra dying and the way that it ended and not knowing
like it would have been better if that happened like at the end of episode 7, and then you went straight into episode 8 with Elektra as being the leader, instead of being in like episode 6 in the middle of the episode, and you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen for 2 episodes now? The villain's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It made no sense to me, and for Elektra just to be like, I don't know, just the leap in logic made no sense to me. It was just like, it made sense because she was kind of brainwashed, to follow her. And then she got her own memories back.
Right.
And then for her to kill her, which is okay, fine, but then to go be like, I'm leading the Hand now. And I'm like, how do you get from here to here? Like, okay, you did this, you got revived, these people took away your memories and put you through this. And now you're gonna kill this person. Okay, fine, because she wants to kill Matt, but then you're gonna align yourself with the people who are trying to kill him. I don't know. It just, the leap in logic made no sense to me. And then when she explained at the end, I wanted the resources for myself so we could live together forever. That's pretty much what she said. And I'm just like,
I didn't get that out of that.
When they were like just in each other's arms.
I thought that she just was not really knowing what she wanted because she doesn't really understand this new identity and how she's supposed to move forward, having these feelings for Matt that she can't really even verbalize because she's this new person. I thought it was more of just her accepting death or darkness or not death or whatever it is for her. Like, just because she didn't really know who she was.
That's another thing. She was like, she kept bringing up, oh, I was always born to be this way, so I'm just embracing it sort of thing. I thought your memories were gone. Like, I thought all your memories were gone. You gonna tell me all your memories came back? Like, I get the moments when Matt were coming back, but does that, I don't know. It just wasn't explained well to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just.
It didn't need to be explained. It just needed to be. But I mean, that acting wise, that last scene was phenomenal.
They did not need. I think they just killed Alexandra for the shock.
Yeah.
And I think it ruined the rest of the whole thing. Like, there was no reason for Alexandra to die. She could have died in the rubble in the explosion.
Yeah.
And they still could have had the whole Elektra thing. They still could have had all of that with Alexandra there.
I also would have liked to seen Alexandra in action a bit.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't really ever fight.
No, she didn't. It was like they kept teasing it and then stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you didn't need her to die for Elektra to become the villain.
Yeah.
You just didn't need for her to be the villain. She could have just still been the pawn and still been fighting a Daredevil, fighting everybody because she's still kind of brainwashed. And at the end, she could have just been like, yeah, I stood with them because I wanted us to live forever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And still
too many moving parts in that villain thing. I do agree with you there.
It just took away the whole thing. It's just that it just made them, I don't know, it just made them weak to me. It's just like, oh, they're weak. Like, the big leader got fooled.
Yeah.
And now you look like a fool. Now you're just gonna accept Black Sky as the leader now? Why?
I mean, I think that
like,
for me, it doesn't bother me as much just because I'm like, there's no other show that does mysticism like this.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And like, that's really what is making me not care as much.
Like, but for a show that's supposed to be street level, grounded people,
yeah,
the mysticism stuff, which is fine, like this stuff with Elektra and whatever is not really mysticism to me. It was just like more mafia stuff.
Yeah.
That's how it acted. It was more mafia, like, yeah, we're doing backroom deals and we're doing this and we're taking over corporations to build our corporations up, but there's this little layer of mysticism in the bottom, you know? It was more like Kingpin stuff, really.
I mean, if they hadn't included Iron Fist so heavily embedded him within the storyline, I would tend to agree with you. But once you open up a secret cave that only his glowing fist can do, you know what I mean? That's when it kind of crossed the line for me as far as it's definitely more mystic, less street.
But they didn't get mystic until the end.
Yeah.
Like, it was like the whole beginning
Right.
stuff was
Yeah.
corporate stuff. Corporate and, mafia and backroom deal stuff. That's all it was.
Right.
That's really all it was until the end. Until it was like,
this, yeah.
until like, oh yeah, we need the Iron Fist to open up the Dragon Den or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, okay, you want to live forever. Because I kept teasing it, and never really explaining it.
Yeah.
And I guess you don't want to give up all your cards at once.
Right.
But when you only have 8 episodes, you need to just explain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Mick from Geek Time was telling me, once I put up, I didn't know how to feel about Defenders. He put it this way. He said he liked it more than Iron Fist, but a lot less than all the other shows. Like, it's like, oh, it's better than Iron Fist, but definitely not as good as the other ones. And he goes by a wide margin, he says. But it's hard to compare because you're going so focused on one character, so you get more character moments, more action scenes with these characters. Here, you're cramming all these 4 different, like, mythologies almost into one show.
It didn't have you know what I think it comes down to? It didn't have a solid identity to it. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because even you have these 4 defenders, then you have this Black Sky thing, then you have the Hand,
It was like Daredevil season 2.5.
Yeah.
That's really what it was.
That's really what it was.
It's Daredevil season 2.5. And I get Daredevil started everything up in the Netflix universe. I wish the other ones had more to do about it, Like you said, like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage really had nothing to do with the Hand.
Yeah.
Really had nothing to do with the Hand. If it was, they were part of the Hand stuff too. And I guess they kind of were alluding to that because they knew about Kilgrave and they knew about something with Luke Cage. I don't remember. But they kind of knew about them because they were keeping their eyes on them. But in their individual seasons, it had nothing to do with the Hand.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool if it was, the Hand was a thread in between all of them and they brought them all together that way.
They attempted.
They attempted. They did it really well in the beginning of this show, where it was just like all their paths crossed in this one area, Midland Circle, and that's how they all crossed paths. That makes sense, but it would have been cool if Jessica Jones and Luke Cage had some connection to the Hand going in, to make them feel part of it, because they just felt odd men's out. It was just Iron Fist and Daredevil. We need the Iron Fist. Daredevil's the only one that know what was going on. We know about Elektra, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are just there.
Right.
And it's just like...
That's one thing that wasn't... I thought that, like, why does Luke Cage want to be a part of this again? Like, why was he so eager when he had nothing to...
He was eager because they kept hiring
I know,
kids
but, like,
in
it just seemed like it was, like, a little bit too forced for that particular storyline. Maybe it's just because Luke...
Jessica's was more forced. Because it was like, she took on this role, this case, and she was like, she got, attached to that family. She wanted answers for them. I'm like...
Yeah.
You already know the answers to this.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I don't know. I don't like to say that it's, just one notch above the first season of Iron Fist. But I think it was. Like, I don't think but I think it was a lot better than the first season of Iron Fist.
Yeah, like, I enjoyed it. Like I said, the first half, I was all into this. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I was all into it until kind of that warehouse scene where they started infighting again, and it just became a lull. Like, it just became dull to me. Just like Jessica and Matt going off to find the plans the architect left behind.
I mean, I feel like
that kind of came out of left field. Like, why? I don't even remember why they went there.
I mean, but let's
that.
be honest, every season of a Marvel Netflix show has a lull.
Yeah, but when you
single one.
But when you only have 8 episodes, you can't have a lull.
I didn't find the lull. I'm the lull wasn't as much there for me.
Good. I mean, I'm glad.
But
like, for me, I was just like, can we get to the resolution? Can we get back to Midland Circle?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The whole infighting and, Matt and Jessica are going off doing their own thing. Cool character moments, sure.
Yeah.
But, like, you went from this high and then to try to get back up there, and you really could. I couldn't. They didn't get up there for me again.
Right.
Especially when Elektra killed Alexandra. I was just like...
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit, okay. But then I'm like, wait a second. Damn, really? That's it?
Yeah.
So we're going to see Sigourney Weaver for another 2.5 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
All right. Fair.
But, I mean, I liked it. It was good in that regard to bring them all together. And the story made sense.
The Defenders are going to come back?
Together, you mean? Not for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to see them all together again. I think Daredevil was cool by himself with his own characters.
I would like a Jones Daredevil team up.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I want a Iron Fist Luke Cage team up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want a Jessica Jones Luke Cage team up, which is pretty much Jessica Jones season 1.
I mean,
well, for
yeah.
the first half anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah.
it made this watching the Defenders did make me want to go back and watch Jessica Jones season 1 again.
I feel like she was the
Yeah.
most underutilized in that show.
Absolutely.
Like I said, and it's because her show was the furthest one back.
Yeah.
She had no connection to the hand.
Yeah.
Zero connection. So it was just like...
And you thought they didn't give her choreography enough attention?
No, I don't think she had a good enough fighting scenes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they were pretty lame to me. She had cool scenes where, like, throwing a car to the side or, like, pushing a guy to the wall.
Or that one scene where she was carrying the elevator up.
That was cool. Like, her feats of strength were cool.
Yeah.
But actually, her fighting was lame.
Yeah.
I was just like, I mean, have her do something cool. I don't know. Throw some shit. I don't know. Like, it was just like flailing around, trying to kick people, and she's getting her ass kicked. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All
But
right. Well, that's it.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think of Defenders once you guys finish. Are we off the mark? I mean, I feel you probably liked it more than I did. I'm probably more critical on that. But it was a good team up, you know. I wish it was like 10 episodes. Give us like a couple more episodes.
I do wish that it was. I think they could have done a little bit more with the pacing. You know, if it was a little bit more. I wonder what the creative decision was to make it a miniseries. Like, why? You know, just because they wanted it to be all within a week's time frame. That's really the only thing I can think of.
Maybe with production money. I don't know.
Doubt it. They've been leading up to this since fucking Daredevil season 1. Tell me you don't have enough production money? Bullshit.
So, or they had other things to do. I don't know. They only could do 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Like the story, I know we're like going back to it, but the story felt good for 8 episodes. Like the way it went, like once episode 4 ended and they had that first fight, they should have been like, they didn't, like I said, that lull in the middle.
Yeah, where
kills me.
let's go collect all our loved ones. That was forced. That was a little bit forced.
That killed it for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, okay, you got away.
And you're telling
And
me
then-
the police station can hold these people safely?
No.
But so in my mind I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Like, okay, you gotta get the people, you gotta go to your people and like, hey, we gotta, stop, blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember why they went to the architect's house again. I don't even remember why they went
To
there.
get more information from the...
I guess to find out
daughter.
what their next move was,
Yeah.
and then, Matt was like, oh, he plays the piano.
And they found the plans in
Yeah,
there.
and the piano.
That was a little bit much.
I was just like, come on.
I
can we
think it
just
was
get
also
to
an
it?
excuse to get Daredevil and Jones together.
And then, like, the Electra moments in the apartment, I get why it was there. But, like, I think they just went on too long. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, you were in that apartment for way too long. And then she woke up. She was dreaming about Matt waking her up and everything. I was
Yeah.
just like, what the hell is all that? Like, I don't get it. And then him going back to his apartment and
Yeah.
then figuring out, someone was in my apartment, but I'm not going to say anything. Like, there's so many scenes, like, all those could have been cut out.
No, I liked those scenes. I honestly really
I
did.
like the scenes,
But they were
when this-
placed wrong, I think.
Yeah, placement, and when you only have 8
Relative
episodes
to what was...
going on.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been in the beginning, maybe right before the ending. So just right into the ending. I don't know. It was a lull, and I was just like, yo, this isn't done yet? Like, can we get to the resolution here?
Yeah.
Like, shit. I don't know.
And especially, I think, you know what, I think the dialogue, sounds really weird, but you know that scene at the restaurant where they're all sitting at the table and the dialogue is just snap, 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 snap. They set the
okay.
pace there. You know what I mean? Because until then it was really slow. And then they get all meet and it's like, bam, 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 bam. Everyone's talking. People are coming in, blah, blah, blah. There's so much danger. There's like, let's speed up the time frame. And then you're right, it does take a drastic jump down. I feel like if they maybe even just slowed down the pace of that dialogue just a little bit, people wouldn't have necessarily been expecting. Because I was jolted by that dialogue. That dialogue made me excited. It made my heart rate come up. And I was like, wow, like this is really happening, like real time. And then you're right. Oh, let's go collect all our loved ones. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and then cutting back to Misty, and
Yeah.
like doing some police work, and then cutting back to Colleen and Claire, and then cutting back to here. I'm like,
Because I
Do we
thought that
really
now,
need this?
right, cutting back and forth, and I feel like that you have them all together. You took 4 episodes to get them together. They're having all this quick dialogue. Then you're going to cut away from the team, and you're going to separate them again. I see what you mean there.
Yeah.
I do see what you mean.
It just became dull. I'm like,
Yeah.
And then Electra leaves the hand, and then the hand aren't doing anything.
Right, because
and it's like no one's
that
doing
table
anything.
at the first restaurant, the initial meeting, was essentially the climax of the show at episode 4.
But that's what, like, even, like, the Japanese hand member was like, yo, like, because then they just sent, like, the guy's head to them. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
they just sent the guy's head to them and was like, yo, we weren't even looking for him. Like, why weren't we looking for him? Like, yeah, why weren't you looking for him? Like, you knew he was gone, and you just, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, they were just sitting pat on their hands. Like, you need the Iron Fist. Why don't you go actively look for him?
Yeah.
Like, clearly you weren't actively looking for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird to me.
Oh,
I feel like we're so critical about it, but, like, there were worse ways to spend my 8 episodes of a show. You know,
Yeah.
like, I enjoyed it for what it was and what they were doing, and to see them all together. It wasn't executed in the way...
like one of our freelance writers actually wrote, like, you know, the Marvel Netflix TV experiment is kind of like, you know, a mixed bag, he put it. And that was an interesting angle because he wasn't talking about the Defenders necessarily, like how he liked it, but he was kind of comparing their plan, you know, looking all the way back and what they've really accomplished.
Yeah.
You know? And if you look at it from that overall standpoint, it is a mixed bag. It doesn't really make any sense if you kind of look at the whole timeline of things and the way things have happened, especially because we didn't get a lot of resolution, like you said, at the end of the Defenders. It would have been okay if the Defenders was so standalone, not having that resolution, but because we have this buildup of literally 4 days worth of fucking television.
Yeah.
And then to kill off the villain you've been promoting that's supposed to be the leader of the hand, 4 episodes, 5 episodes
For
in.
Electra just to be the shoehorn
Right.
villain at the end. For what? For what? Like, she was like, she didn't do anything
Yeah.
as the leader. Oh, I'm the leader now. Let's continue with our plan. It's like, what? Like, I'm just going to continue the plan Alexandra made up.
Yeah.
Let's just continue it. But I'm a better leader because I killed her. It's like,
Right.
any one of them could have done that and killed her. I don't know. It was just...
Yeah.
That like I said, that one scene was just like, what, really? Like, again, shock-wise, like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But in the grand scheme of things, it ruined it. It's like, damn, this is your villain the whole freaking time. She spent so much, you had so much screen time with this person for
Yeah.
her just to die in such an unceremonious way.
It almost makes her presence, like, just to do the explaining
The exposition, yeah.
of the Black Sky at first, the introduction.
Or in the hand. It's like, oh,
Right.
this is what we've been doing for so many years. And it's just like...
She'll tell you all about it, and then
Okay.
we're going to kill her. Her purpose of the character is done.
Yeah,
That's-
just to give us
right.
exposition of the hand and
Yeah.
what was going on and what their plan really is. And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, but she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's what kills me. It's like she doesn't do anything. The other hand members do things. They actually were there, and they kept freaking saying it. It was like,
Also, what is she dying from? We didn't get we didn't get a chance to get invested in that arc.
see, that's the
either.
whole thing. It's
Yeah.
just like you build up like she's dying. You keep seeing her take pills and like, oh, I'm in pain and this and that. And she just dies anyway from a freaking slice. Like she doesn't even succumb to her own things. You
Yeah,
know, it's just
yeah.
like, oh, you were building that whole thing of that subplot for it not to go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like they just made 13 episodes and then chopped off. You know what I mean?
It felt like they had the base of what they wanted to do, and then
Yeah.
in the middle they were like, you know what, let's just change it up real quick.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, like they had the beginning and the end. Like they had the Electra bit, well, we're gonna have her betray them and become the real villain of the season, but they didn't know what to do in the middle. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of like, let's just do this.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, oh shit, we're already in this episode. We need to get to this scene. Okay, you're done. Here
Yeah.
we are.
I mean,
don't
it
know.
was a lot for them to juggle all these seasons of all these characters, all this hours and hours
Yeah,
of television.
sub-characters
Can you
and-
imagine being that person trying to put this together, or that group of people in that writer's room? You know,
I mean,
with
it
all
could be
these
done.
all these ideas coming at each other. And I was telling you off screen, we were talking about the DC movie news compared to Marvel, about how Marvel is very formulaic with their strategy. This was not a formula.
No, this was...
They did not have a formula for this.
No, and like I said, like they kind of did, like they were planting the seeds of the hand throughout the whole
Right.
thing. So that's why it made sense for the hand to be the ones
Mm-hmm.
that bring them together. So they have to like take down. That makes so much sense to building up over all these seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I guess, like we were saying, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage had no connection to them.
Yeah.
So why are they involved?
Which I got over that. You know, it's cool.
No,
that
I
Fender-
get. Yeah, that's
no,
fine.
but I know what you mean.
But it's just like at the end when you're looking back, you're like, they really had nothing to do.
Right.
Like especially Jessica Jones really had nothing to do in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was just there to be there. Like she didn't even want to be there. She left and then she came back later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, what is she like? She wasn't there for Luke. She wasn't there to do anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. If she was like dating Luke or something. That
Yeah,
would-
like, oh, I want to protect Luke or whatever. Like, okay, maybe I could
Yeah.
get that behind that. Like, this is why I'm joining. But it's like, why are you joining? You're like, you clearly didn't, I don't know,
Yeah.
want to save New York or whatever. Because you
Yeah.
didn't believe this was going on anyway.
But at the same time, I mean, Marvel, Netflix really accomplished it first. I mean, what is this? 5 seasons, 6 seasons of these shows now, all intertwined. We all knew come in, we have expectations of these characters becoming the
Yeah.
Defenders. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And the fact that they even attempted it is quite courageous, risk-taking, and whether it paid off or not is for the fans to decide. But either way, I definitely enjoyed it.
I think they accomplished what
and
they
I
had
think
to
that
do.
they learned a lot from it, honestly, probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like they did a good job. And I think it sets them off on a good second phase
Yeah.
of their Netflix thing. Like, okay,
Right.
they did all this. The characters are well established now. Now let's set them off to do their own thing and to establish secondary characters.
And make better creative choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So, on that note,
Yeah.
we'll end it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.